Oh yeah, I'm recording now. Man, that was embarrassing. Sorry about that. This is my first time doing this. Like, I'm not really tech savvy. Usually, I have somebody else do this for me, but he's on vacation in Hawaii.
Yeah, I am not tech savvy either. I wonder if there's anything I can do to
Yeah, like, ooh, I don't know how
set
Joe
this up.
Rogan does this stuff.
He probably has a tech. So I'm just going to continue doing what I've been doing, which is muting my sound when I speak. So if it seems like I'm speaking over you, that's why. I can't hear you.
Okay. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, like, yeah, you were right. Like, I can see a little bit of Crumb influence in John Kay's work. Like with the exaggerated effects and the surreal imagery.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know exactly what John Kay would have come up saying, but he probably would have been influenced somewhat by things that maybe Bakshi was doing in like the 70s and 80s. I would imagine, and some other cartoonists from that period, and they would have all been sort of like on a similar wavelength of the underground cartoonists.
I mean, yeah, like, and plus, like other influences probably include like Looney Tunes, stuff like that.
Well, that's it. There's like a shared like iconographic heritage of cartooning, right? That if you're a cartoonist, you kind of you start with that, Crumb, I'm sure, was watching all these cartoons from the 30s and reading these comics like Little Lulu and stuff like that, and Uncle Scrooge comics. But then, when I grew up in the 80s, I was watching Little Lulu cartoons on TV and DuckTales, which was like it was Carl Barks stories sort of told as cartoons, and then I also still had the Looney Tunes that he would have had, and some of like Popeye and stuff like that. So there is there's like a there's like a narrative, there's like a grand narrative of cartooning, and that's what's so great about being a cartoonist is you're a part of that.
I mean, yeah, like, and I like that T-shirt you got. I don't. Did you have that custom made?
I did, yeah, sort of. I get all of my stickers and stuff, just like my merch, business card stuff type stuff. I get a lot of that through Sticker Mule, which is a company. I think they're international, but they're here in. They get do free shipping in Canada, which is nice. And every now and again, you get an email. They have like a deal every week, and every now and again, it's like shirt $10. So I'll just print off a shirt. But you can actually buy these at my T Public site. I believe they're up there right now. This one's not though.
Yeah, I wonder if Crumb has ever seen your videos about him. Like, if anyone ever showed him.
I don't know. I mean, I hope so. I doubt it, but I try to make them in such a way that wouldn't necessarily flatter him, because I don't want to let him off the hook for any of sort of the missteps that he's made along the way. So I like to call out a lot of the more troubling imagery where I can, but all the music and stuff is all it's all that old timey music that he loves, which is easy because I love that old timey music as well. And I try to do service to the material as best as I can.
I mean, yeah, I guess you could say some of Crumb's work is problematic, and I hate to use that word because I feel like people use it way too much, but like,
that word's problematic's become a problematic word. It's the problem.
yeah, like some of the sexual imagery, it's like Crumb has like a certain, I guess you could say, like borderline illegal sex fantasies.
he's he's working in an era where there's no limitations, and like they're really trying to sort of like map almost the boundaries of like what is acceptable, right? Because he's coming out of not only a culture where LSD hadn't happened yet, right? Before LSD happened, and that kind of changed like everyone's conceptions of like social interactions, and like everything was being questioned, And then on top of that, he's making comics coming out of the Comics Code Authority, which is like an extremely restrictive thing. If you ever sit down and read, the guidelines of the Comics Code Authority, it's like really like repressive, like fascistic stuff. Like it's really strange. And so he's coming out at a time when like everyone is like trying to do the most extreme thing possible, because that's kind of what you do. And I mean, I'm of the opinion that lines on paper are just that, so it's like when he does like Joe Blow or something, which is like a comic who like famously got in all kinds of trouble because he has this like sort of like typical American family, nuclear family, like all having sex with each other in this sort of like weird way. It's like that's very shocking, but that's not like advocating that. It's not depicting it in like a photorealistic way or something, or it's not even. I would argue it's not even erotic. So. I don't know. It's difficult. It's difficult work.
I mean, yeah, you could probably also say the same thing about Toshio Maida's work, or Suhiru Mario. I'm probably not pronouncing that guy's name right.
I'm really not up on my manga, guys. I don't read a lot of manga. I've liked some of it, but I just like I'm not going to recognize very many names.
You said you like old timey music. Me too. Like I think it's underrated. Like most people, they think that music before the '50s wasn't interesting.
Oh, it's the only music that's interesting.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. I mean,
not really, but that's the music I like. I came up when I was a kid. I remember when all my friends were getting into music. The only music I really liked were like, my old like kids albums, which were just basically folk music. And like the music in the background, old cartoons, and I didn't even know that was the kind of music you could listen to, And then with the internet, it's just so much music. I'm always finding music I've never heard, recorded from the 20s, 30s, and 40s. And I'm just always like delving deeper and deeper, There's so much of it.
Yeah, like it's because of this band, called Buhunks. I don't know if you heard of them, but they like record. They're like a Buhunks. They're like a revivalist band, a Dutch revivalist band that like they do like these renditions of music by obscure composers, like Leroy Shield, the guy who composed the music for I don't know if it was either Little Rascals or Our Gang movies from the 1920s and 30s.
Okay, yeah, I'm familiar with that tune. I'm not familiar with this band, but yeah, I know people that like my buddy Zach. He's in a band called the Coconut Kings, and I've had him on my show, The Nostril Zone, before. And he just plays that old like Hawaiian slide guitar, soul hoopy and King Benny Malahi and stuff. And so I love that stuff. I love when people are like trying to get into that folk music and kind of recreate it and recreate the experience of it, because there's something different about that music, because it's at the forefront of recording before like popular music really set in, and so there's still kind of like that sort of residual folk culture embedded in like all these different music types, whether they're blues or gospel or Hawaiian novelty songs, all that stuff. There's something authentic about it.
I mean, yeah, like like Crumb atypically, like he only likes old music, like You know,
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, he's got like this massive record collection of like 78 records, probably one of the biggest in the world. You know, he's like one of these characters who's like there's people who know him only really because of his record collecting. You know, and there's a great podcast called John Hennigan's Old Time Radio Show. I don't know if you heard that.
no.
Oh man! So it's this guy John Hennigan who's in a band, the East River String Band. And they play old timey music. Art Crum plays with them sometimes. He does all the artwork for their music for their band. But he does this podcast where he just listens to old records, old 78s, and a lot of the times he's sitting in Crum's record room and they're kind of bantering back and forth. It's really good.
I mean, yeah, you know, like, you know, that brings up something like, you know, like in recent years, all these male cartoonists have been like accused of sexual harassment and stuff, and you know, like for example, people just found out about the whole Justin Roiland thing, and it's like, ironically, out of all these guys, Crumb is the only guy, you know, who was able to control himself and not go overboard. Like John Kay, for example, you know, like, it turns out that his exception with young girls wasn't just in the cartoon form. He also unfortunately had it in real life too.
Well, yeah, I don't think Crumb is necessarily into kids or anything. He's into like a really specific body type of like strong women. But I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, people have definitely tried to cancel Crumb on quite a few occasions. And he did a comic. I can't remember what it's called, but where he basically admits to like a soft rape, basically, of a woman, getting her drunk and taking advantage of her. At the end, he's like, I know, I cut my throat with this. But it's a comic. I don't know how true it is, you know. But he hasn't been charged with anything, you know. No, there hasn't been any kind of accusations in that sort of vein that have kind of like made him, you know, not able to be in the mainstream discourse. Most of the complaints are about the content of his work. But I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say like, no, he's never done any of that stuff, because you never know. You know, you don't want to be too precious about your heroes or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, there doesn't seem to be people coming out of the woodwork to like accuse him of sexual assault, even though like he's always talking about like hopping on women and getting piggyback rides and all of this stuff. I don't know. I guess it's all been consensual enough. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, you know, like, yeah. One episode of yours that you did canonically, Crumb, I forgot what it's called, but the one you did about the white man comic book, I like the episode you did on that.
Yeah, that's I think that's my like sort of most popular video. You know, that's a really interesting comic. You know, like it's you know, it's like Zap #1. So it's like very early. You know, it's got all this sort of like cultural baggage about these sort of like Greatest Generation, Depression era, you know, men in the '60s, like Crumb's father. You know, and how they're like sort of coping with like the changing world. And it's like there's a real kind of like stress there, and you know, and so it's really an interesting glimpse into the time it's created, but then also into Crumb's personal life because of the fact that he said that's really about his father. He was basically that, you know. So yeah, I love that comic. Great man.
Yeah, I mean, from reading that comic, it seems like, you know, like, it seemed that Crumb's father was like a real life Hank Hill, you know, basically.
I think so, but I don't think he was as like redeemable as Hank Hill.
Well,
You know, like
okay, more like Cotton Hill, Hank's
whenever you
father.
hear Crumb talk, he doesn't usually talk with like hatred of his father the way that, like, if you watch the Crumb documentary, you see both of his brothers. You know, it's like they really harbor animosity towards their father, whereas like Robert seems to have a little bit more of an understanding of him as a person. You know, that's like, and people are complex and they're neither good nor bad. Whereas like Hank Hill, you know, he has the same sort of sickness as Crumb's father, but like Hank Hill is like a hero. Like, he's a good guy, and he's like the story always involves him like facing his like prejudices and like standing up for what's right and like changing and growing, and you know, even when like it like offends him. So you know, Hank Hill's a great character.
Oh yeah, you know, like I love this show. Like, I think Mike Judge really captured, you know, like, you know, blue collar conservatives with that show.
Have you ever seen the other show? I think he only did one season, but it's kind of like the liberal inverse of that.
Oh yeah, I didn't think that show was very
I think you
good.
can watch it for free on Tubi.
Yeah,
It's kind of interesting. You know, it's like if the teacher from Beavis and Butthead like was like a dad, basically, if he was Hank Hill.
yeah, I didn't like that one. I didn't think it was his best work. Like, I think he could have did better with that.
I just think it's interesting the way the premises kind of complement each other. You know.
I mean, yeah. I also liked Office Space, and you know, Daria. Although technically he created Daria, but he didn't write for the show. You know, it's a complicated story behind that. But yeah.
I never really watched Daria. Like, so I watched Beavis and Butthead a lot when it was on. You know, in the '90s, I was just the right age for that. But Daria was like, it was inaccessible. Like, it wasn't on Canadian TV or something. So I never really got to see it.
Oh yeah, I forgot you're Canadian. I forgot you're Canadian.
But I was obsessed with like whatever cartoons that weren't for kids that I could watch when I was like a teenager.
Oh yeah, I forgot you were Canadian. Like, what province are you from?
I'm in Nova Scotia, Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Oh, yeah, Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah, you know, in Halifax is like the capital of this province. You see them walking around like fairly often, so it's like I've seen like most of the cast of the Trailer Park Boys just walking around. It's just kind of a thing you have here.
I mean, yeah, Nova Scotia, like, yeah, I don't know how old you are, but
I'm 40 next week.
oh, so you probably grew up on stuff like Degrassi and all that other stuff.
I didn't watch any of that. I only really liked cartoons like as a teenager. So like I didn't watch Degrassi. All my friends watched Degrassi. All my friends watched was the other like one. I can't even remember the names of them. But all those shows they watched, I only watched cartoons and things that were like sci-fi or whatever. You know, I had like an attitude of like, why would I want to watch something real?
Yeah, that's funny. I was kind of the same way as a kid. You know, no.
I was a real.
When I got older, but when I got older, I got into some live action stuff. Like when I was a teenager, I really got into like The Sopranos and Doctor Who.
I have not actually watched either of those, but I did sort of like enter a film phase in like sort of my late teenage years, and then that's when I started watching like Kurosawa films and like you know, Quentin Tarantino and like you know, just whatever cinema, John Waters and all that sort of stuff. And now I really like film shows and stuff like that. But you know, I just at the time I didn't understand why people would want to watch that. You can watch cartoons, but you can watch you know, Star Wars or you can watch something like that. You know.
I mean, yeah, you know, like, and you know, Canada has like a weird vibe about it culturally. Like,
we're very smart.
It wants to be. It's like America, but at the same time, it's not.
It's different depending on where you live. So I used to live in Windsor, Ontario, which is like right on the border of Detroit. Like you look out your window and you see like the GM building, and it's like Windsor is very different from like the town where I was born, which is Brantford, which is like 2 hours off the highway. You know, it's not very far away, but it's like there are some significant differences. So there are, because in Windsor you would get American TV. You know, you got like the radio was amazing because you got NPR, because it was right near Detroit. You know, all these Motown stations and stuff, and great jazz stations. But you got like all the American commercials because you watched Simpsons on Fox, not on Global, and so there were some differences there, but yeah. Excuse me, just 1 second. My wife's just coming in here. But yeah. It's a little different. I guess it's a little more British. We never really split then. We kind of did. So we're kind of between two worlds, I guess. I think we're mostly American. Mostly American.
Yeah, but some parts have a different vibe. Like Montreal, I mean, Quebec in general is kind of more European.
Well, Quebec is like its own sort of culture. It's very French, and that sort of like it's got its own like cultural industry. Like there's a whole like music scene and arts, comics, everything.
Yeah. Plus,
I just gotta go see what my wife was asking her. She's probably going to bed. My kids sleep at the commander, so I'll be right back. Sorry about that. I'm just handing off the kid monitor here.
Oh yeah. Like I was saying, and plus you guys still got the monarchy, although it's more of a figurehead these days.
I'm sorry?
Oh, I said plus. Oh, I said plus you guys still got the monarchy.
Sort of. Yeah, we have the. Yeah, we do have the. What do they call it? Something general. I could remember this until I'm asked about it, but it's like it's a person whose job is to rubber stamp for the Queen, but mostly all they do is like subvert democracy. Right? So it's like if you're the prime minister, which is kind of like a president, and you don't want, because our elections are fixed, but they can also happen at any time. So they're like 4 years at the longest. And so, like, we can, there can just be like an election call kind of on a drop of a dime. And, if you want to stop that from happening because, like, you don't have, like, a majority government or whatever, other people can sort of outvote you, then you go to them and get them to shut down Parliament. And, they stop it right in the strikes.
I mean, yeah, that's crazy. Like, and it's like, I mean, I'm not gonna say necessarily anti-monarchy per se, but it's like, what's the point of having a monarchy if they're only figureheads? Like,
I don't know. I'm not a big fan myself. I feel like they kind of exist to supplant democracy. The best explanation I've heard from anyone, the best justification I've heard, is that they kind of like they're supposed to take the place of the spectacle off of the politicians, maybe. So instead of people sort of like obsessing over the prime minister is like this sort of famous cultural icon, kind of like obsessing over like what they're doing day to day, as opposed to like just the policy. You would focus on the royals instead. But I mean, I don't think that justifies keeping them. I think we should boot them out.
I mean, yeah, like I said earlier, like I can understand, like back in the day, like when King George III, he had actual power, like he could actually make decisions that affected Canada. But it's like 2023 now. It's like the royal family can't really do anything for Canadians now.
No, well, it's the Governor General. That's the position I was trying to remember. Who represents the Queen, or I guess now the King in our sort of our constitutional monarchy. Yeah, I mean, they are a figurehead, right? Like, I don't know how we don't get rid of them. I guess just the idea is to get rid of them is there needs to be a massive consensus, and people just love them. It's like the way that people love like a flag. Like imagine if like you wanted to like
yeah, but some people
the American flag significantly.
Yeah, but I've also heard the argument.
Like pink or something. It's like, it would be hard to get enough consensus to make that happen,
Yeah, but I've also heard the argument from some people that if Canada got rid of its monarchy, it wouldn't be as unique anymore. Like, it would be just like America with different accents.
I mean, we're just like Australia now, so I mean, I don't think it matters. I don't think that's what makes Canada unique, nor do I think our uniqueness is that important.
I mean, you guys' accents sound almost exactly like ours, unless you count Quebec.
It's similar. There's similarities that are interesting. Like, I always think of our politics, Canadian politics, as being like 10 years behind American politics. So it's like, as you're like Obama's going out the door, we're like, or as you guys are getting Obama, we're electing our like George Bush. So it's like as like you guys are kicking out your like sort of oil man, cowboy, right-wing president. That's when we elect ours. That's when we get Stephen Harper, and then it's like. Then, like our Obama, as you guys are electing Trump, we elect Justin Trudeau, who's like the same sort of like, centrist lib kind of figure, but with this like veneer of like hope and stuff. And you can go further back, So there seems to be some similarity, and like most Canadians know more about American politics than. A lot of Americans, but also like than they do about Canadian politics. Like it's like watching sports for us.
Yeah, I mean, like, you got a point. Like, there is some differences between Canadian politics and American politics. Like, you guys aren't as partisan as we are. Like, pretty much even all the conservative and liberal politicians in Canada both agree that national health care is good and that they don't want gun laws like America, more or less. It's
it depends on who you talk to, right? Because, a lot of the conservative base, for example, which is would be like our Republican Party, although they're not as far right as your Republican Party. That's exactly it's hard to talk about getting rid of health care because it's so unpopular to say that. The only people who like it are like really rich people who are like, hey, if no one else was getting good service, then I could get the best service. But in terms of gun laws, that's you've got one side that's trying to pass these sort of symbolic gestures towards gun legislation, which I don't think are particularly effective. And then you've got the other side that's just trying to loosen gun laws, but cynically as a ploy for voters. And we do really have an increasing partisan divide between the sort of Western Alberta sort of prairies oil politics and sort of the sort of central and eastern kind of I guess more liberal politics. I mean, I would consider myself much more liberal myself, because we have other parties too, right? We have the NDP, which are a left of center party, and then there's a variety of really left-wing parties that are not really on the map, that don't have seats. So.
I mean, yeah, You know, I've heard some disappointment from Canadians about Justin Trudeau. You know, like they've like I've heard some Canadians basically say that he's kind of mediocre.
Yeah, I've never liked him myself. He kind of swept in on the promise of electoral reform. So we have a first past the post system, which is like, whoever gets like the most votes out of any party, like they get all the power, even if like they didn't, you know, even if most people didn't vote for them, So there's been a major push for like a century to switch to like a system that's more representational of what people like want. And the liberals, they've been promising for a century to change it. He came in with this unambiguous promise that like, this is going to be the last first past the post election, and we were coming out of like, basically our George W. Bush, who was like, if you picture the election where like George W. Bush was like leaving office, it's like that's how popular our leader Stephen Harper was. And people were like, I considered it myself, being like, should I vote for this guy who's like seems really kind of superficial and really like he's just a rich kid, right? Like his dad was prime minister. He's like just kind of been a media figure his entire life, and there's not an authentic bone in his body.
I mean, like I think his mother like either dated or had sex with Mick Jagger. I don't know. Like, but I'm pretty sure she did cheat on her husband Pierre Trudeau though. Like, she went to Studio 54 and everything.
I've heard stuff like that, but I only pay attention to the royals myself, so I don't dirty myself with the personal lives of the politicians.
I mean, yeah. And the marriage between him and his mother was weird. Like, I think Pierre Trudeau was born in like 1913 or something, and his mother is like in her 20s. It's like, you got this super old dude, probably old enough to remember the First World War, and he's having sex with some young 20-year-old.
He was an interesting guy, that's for sure. I think he's like not vilified enough, probably. He's like kind of seen as a hero for doing some things that like maybe
but I don't think people in Quebec like Pierre Trudeau that much.
Using the Emergency Powers Act and stuff, and arresting tons of people and using it to suppress opposition. Like that's not great either, or like residential schools, continuing those.
Oh yeah, I think Pierre Trudeau did that whole like emergency powers thing because of the Quebec separatists or something that he sent in the army.
Yeah, but I mean, it's debatable whether you need to like suspend civil liberties and send tanks in. It's like even if you do, it's like that should be like a serious stain on like a really sad decision that you had to make. But it's like it's taught in schools, or at least when I went to schools, like he's the hero. There's a video shot the others get of like just watch me. The news guy asks him how far will you go? Just watch me. It's like that's how it's framed. It's like it's really alarming in concept.
Yeah, needless to say, there's a lot of people in Quebec. I mean, there's some people in Quebec who don't like him.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who don't like him. Go back.
Yeah, like to this day, Quebec still has like a strong like independence movement.
Yeah, I think it's less strong in terms of like being like separatist, but they have like a very distinct and like strong, sort of like political identity. But I'm. You want to talk about something other than politics, maybe?
Oh yeah. Oh well, let's get back. Like you do comics yourself, don't you? Like.
I'm sorry.
You do comics yourself, don't you?
Yeah. I've been in Mad Magazine. I'm a regular contributor to, I don't have one here, but Freaky Magazine. And just kind of around.
I mean, what are your influences besides Crumb?
Well, I think at a really young age I was influenced by Dr. Seuss. He was a really early influence. Also, all like the cartoons and media. I played a lot of video games when I was a kid. I don't play video games now. I sort of quit around the time I turned 20. But I was really inspired by like, that sort of imagery of like old Nintendo and Super Nintendo games. Yeah, cartoons that were on TV, but mostly Mad Magazine was really the biggest influence. Mad Magazine, Crack Magazine.
Oh yeah, Cracked magazine. You know, unfortunately that went on out of print, but you know they're online now.
But they're not the same thing, right? They're not like a magazine. It's like someone bought like the logo and the brand, but not like the magazine. So unfortunately, it's like there's no books of Crack. You don't see like great Crack collections, you know. And like you know, like Dan Klaus worked in Crack. Who else? Rick Ultragod. You know, John Severin. There's all kinds of great artists who worked at Crack, and it's like there's not really any good collections of their work.
I mean, I haven't really seen like a Cracked collection. There might be like some small book, but it might be out of print though. I'm not sure.
Mort Todd, who was the editor of Crack in the 80s, just before I started reading. I started reading Mad in 1989, and Crack probably about the same time, when I was like 6 years old. I couldn't read yet. I was looking at that stuff. But Mort Todd was the editor sort of just before that period, and he's put out a couple books that are like reprints of sort of special editions. So there's like the best of Jack Davis, the best of John Severin, and then I have one other book that was like a collection of movie parodies that was put out while Crack was still being published, sort of in the probably early 2000s.
Wow, I mean that's awesome. Like, do you think you would ever do like a series on like another artist, like canonically Matt Groening or canonically, I don't know, Joe Matt?
I really want to do Harvey Kurtzman. I want to do Love Kurtz, and that's first taste of the name Love Kurtz, and do a series where I look at like Harvey Kurtzman's like comics and Mad, Two-Fisted Combat, whatever, like all the war stuff, you know, Little Annie Fanny, Humbug, Help, you know, all that stuff.
Oh yeah, that's great. You know, I mean that'd be great. You know, what about National Lampoon?
You know, I like National Lampoon, but I never, like, it was done when I was a kid, and, like, they were never around. Like, I never had access to them. I grew up in kind of a small town where part of the reason Mad is, like, my main influence is because that's really, like, I didn't like superhero comics, and you could get, like, the superhero comics that would be sold at, like, a convenience store, or you could get Mad and Crack, and that was, like, basically the purview of comics that were available to me. So it's like I read Mad and Crack, but there was never any like comic store where I could buy old National Lampoons.
Yeah, which is ironic
because I was reading them because that's kind of like where you should go. And I went from Mad to heavy metal. When I turned like 13, I switched to heavy metal for some reason. I'm not 100% sure, but
I mean, yeah,
something
that's ironic
in my body.
Yeah, but that's ironic because I think National Lampoon was started by some Canadians. At least, I think one or two of the guys were Canadian.
Were they? I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I don't know about that. I have a couple of issues of National Lampoon, especially like comic issues. Whenever I find them, I'll pick them up. But you just don't see them. Like, you just don't see them around, or if you do, they're like insanely expensive or something. So I just don't read them.
I mean, yeah. You know, I'm trying to think, what was another influential magazine? What was it, like Sick?
I never saw Sick as a kid. I think I have one issue of Sick. I have like a whole like, so on my bookshelf, this sort of section here, this is all either Mad Magazine or sort of competing sort of knockoff parody magazines.
Oh, there was like 50 million knockoffs. There was Humbug, Sick, Trump, all of them.
Madhouse, Nuts, Get Lost. I think I have some other ones there too. There's a whole book. There's a great book called Behaving Madly. Craig Yo, I think.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you put it out myself or
yeah, I saw that
in
one
conjunction with someone else. And it's like a great collection of Mad Magazine copycats.
I mean, out of all the Mad Magazine copycats, who do you think was their greatest competitor? You know, I would probably. Oh, really? I was gonna say National Lampoon, but yeah, I guess Cracked.
I would put National Lampoon in a different category than Mad. You know, like Mad and Crack were like, especially when I was a kid, they were direct competitors. You know, in a sense, and you always knew that Mad was higher quality, but Cracked came out more often. So it's like you would buy two Cracks and then you'd get a Mad. You know, and like I don't know. There's something about Crack. You know, like it is. It's less good objectively, but it's also like more punk. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, I can see that, you know, and I mean, I guess I could see that, you know. There was also, I'm trying to think, was there a magazine called Panic? I think there was.
There's two magazines called Panic. There was Panic that was put out. So Mad, when it came out, it was a comic book, right? Like tales calculated to drive you mad, humor in a jugular vein, which was put out by EC Comics as a comic book that parodied other comic books and media. And while that was going on, because there were so many competitors, Gaines, the owner of EC, he started a second one that was sort of headed by Al Feldstein. It was called Panic. But then later, after Mad Magazine became a magazine and Panic stopped publishing, there was another publication that ran for at least 2 issues called Panic that was put out by Pharrell Publishing. And we actually just looked at an episode, on the most recent episode of Flippin' Through. It was Patrick and me and Noah Van Skyver. And looked at one of it, but I think there was only 2 issues is what we sort of decided.
I mean, yeah, there was like a lot of good humor magazines. Unfortunately, humor magazines seem to be dying out, it seems.
Magazines are dying out. You know, like I teach kids. I do like these artists in the school sessions. And, you know, when I first started doing these, you know, I'd go into a classroom and say, yeah, I've been in Mad Magazine. There'd be like 1 or 2 kids in any age group who had heard of it. And if I had done that when I was a kid, every kid would have heard of it. But, you know, the last like couple of years that I've been doing it, when I say that, they've never heard of it. The teachers are awestruck. But the kids are like, oh, whatever, a magazine.
I mean, yeah, you know, like when I was a kid, and you know, I'm not even that old. Like I'm only 27, so I'm way younger than you. When I was a kid, I remember like seeing like Archie comics and like Disney Adventure comics, and also what else? Like Mad Magazine. But you know, I can't. It's been a while. Like last time I went to a supermarket, I don't think I saw any Archie comics.
Well, Mad came off of the newsstands during my like tenureship there. I was in like 3 or 4 issues, and then they came off the newsstands. So you know, I probably helped kill Mad. But I still see Archie, I think, around. I think I see him in newsstands. You don't see as many newsstands as much, some more. But I think Archie is still around. I found actually like an Archie book on the ground, like just before Christmas. I found like the Mad, like some sort of Mad collection. I think it's like the Worst of Mad or something, and an Archie book on the ground. So they must still be doing Archie.
Yeah. Also, that reminds me, like both Mad Magazine and National Lampoon kind of branched out into like, well, for National Lampoon it was movies, and for Mad TV it was television. I mean, for Mad Magazine it was television. Like there was a sketch comedy show called Mad TV, and then you know, of course, National Lampoon put their name on like 1 million movies.
Yeah, I never really thought about it like that. I didn't really watch Mad TV. I watched it a little bit at first. I was really like the Spy vs. Spy cartoons and stuff. Like those really caught my attention. I was excited for it, but then, you know, it kind of just seemed like a less good Saturday Night Live, and less transgressive and Living Color. So it's like it really didn't. It didn't really have like an eye. Like I'd just rather watch one of those other 2 shows, I guess.
Well, one of the saving graces of Mad TV.
Now I feel like that doesn't mean anything. You can just buy that label. You know, it's like direct-to-Tubi kind of movies.
Oh yeah, like yeah, National Lampoon kind of went downhill in the 90s. Like in the 70s and the 80s, having National Lampoon of a kind of movie was great. Like you had National Lampoon's Animal House, National Lampoon's what was it like Family Vacation, and then Christmas Vacation. You know, like then there was National Lampoon Van Wilder.
I didn't see that, but I think that's where it sort of like went off the rails. You know, when I think they stopped making movies and they started just like licensing their brand.
Oh yeah, like I can't tell you how many bad 16 comedies I've seen with National Lampoon attached to it.
I love like a good sex comedy. I prefer them from like the 70s though. I think that was like the 70s and 80s maybe.
Yeah, did you ever see American Pie? I did like a while back, but I said, did you ever see American Pie? That was a teen sex comedy.
That was really kind of the last one for me. You know, like that came out when I was the right age to see it. But you know, I was aware of like you know Meatballs and Revenge of the Nerds and like
oh yeah,
whatever,
you know,
these sort of like I can't remember all the names off the top of my head, but you know, I was aware of all of the stuff that came before, and they didn't feel like to me, American Pie felt like it was like there had been a period like teen sex comedies were very transgressive, very shocking, and like you know extreme. And then they kind of disappeared for like half a decade, and then they came back in this sort of watered down way. And because I sort of grew up in a small town, didn't have access to comics, but I did have access to was amazing video stores, video rental stores. And so like I just used to rent like you know cheap comedies and horror movies and like all the exploitation schlock that I could get my hands on. I loved it all.
Yeah, that reminds me of an episode of Family Guy, like when Chris is trying to, I mean not Chris, but when Peter is trying to connect with his son, he shows him like some old teen sex comedy, like I think it's like, dang, what was it, like Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and you know, his son is like, that's it, that's the hot chick? He's like, well, I can see way hotter chicks than that on porn. He said, how did you guys consider this chick to be, Phoebe, he was talking about Phoebe Cates, he's like, how do you guys consider this chick to be hot in the 80s? Like she's got B-cup boobs and she's super skinny, like she's not really all that when you really think about it. You guys must have been desperate back then.
I don't know, there seems to be different tastes in like ideals of feminine beauty, I guess.
Yeah, when you think about it, Phoebe Cates was
back to Crumb, it's like for him it's like, you know, huge ass but like big muscular women. You know, whereas like, you know, probably the prevailing sort of like preferred style at the time was probably like more like thin and wafy, you know, like, and you know, preferred bodies change over time, like, and you know, it's like I remember looking at like a Rubens painting or like some sort of Baroque painting. It's all these big fleshy women. You know, it's like that was the ideal of beauty then. So it's like, you know, popular standards of beauty change over time, and our time is quicker with popular culture.
Yeah, and I think, you know, like they probably like hyped Phoebe Cates up, like, you know, in the movie and stuff. It made her seem like she was like a super bombshell. When you really think about it, she was just a slightly above average girl, and her boobs really weren't that big. They were kind of like really small.
Well, you know, it's not the size that counts, it's how you use it, I guess.
I mean, like, yes, but you know, like, I like curvier women like Crumb. I'm not really into the whole like skinny supermodel thing.
I don't have a real preference. I don't think. I'm more contextual.
I mean, yeah, you know, but you know, things change over time. Like, you know, like. I think almost all the VHS stores went out of like business. You know, everything is streaming now, and for better or for worse.
That's lost. That's a kind of media exploration that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, you know, like back in the day, like if you didn't catch something, you just missed the event. You know, like. I remember back when I was a kid, like everybody would be talking about the newest episode of like um, The Sopranos, or what's gonna happen next, or ooh, this is so cool, or like, man, I wish I had HBO. And I was like, when I was a kid, I was like, damn, I wish I had cable because all these shows sound cool, and there's no internets, and I'm broke, so I can't really afford it, and my parents are cheapskates. I mean, like, I was like, shit, man, I wish I was watching this cool show.
My headphones just died. Well, yeah, I mean, there's something different too, though. You know, that everyone sort of watched the same thing together at the same time, so there's a kind of like a unifying, like a sort of reality creating effect there. Whereas now everything's a la carte, and everyone's sort of like off in these like tiny little niches, and you know. That's why you have so much partisanship and stuff. People are so fractured and like off in their own worlds, you know. Like there's no consensus reality anymore.
Yeah, you know, like for example, like you know, like The Simpsons is still on the air. You know, I think they should have pulled that plug on that show a long time ago. Like Fox just renewed The Simpsons for like 2 new seasons, and I'm like, at this point, who really cares? Like, I don't even think Matt Groening cares.
Well, I mean, I'm sure he likes the paycheck. Yeah, I mean, I watched The Simpsons. I remember the first episode on TV. I'd seen some of the Tracy Ullman shorts in the 80s. And then the show, I remember it starting when I was in kindergarten. And I saw every episode of that show up until probably like 2005, 2006 or whatever, and then I finally kind of drifted away. And I'd sometimes go back and try to catch up, but I don't know, it's different now, I don't know. I'm not knocking it or anything, but like obviously there is a golden age of that show, and it's something special.
Yeah, you know, The Simpsons is one of those shows that like probably should have ended a long time ago because the cultural forces that produced it don't exist anymore. Like when The Simpsons came out, you only had a certain amount of newspapers, you know, certain movies and stuff, you know. America was different, you know, in 1989 when that show came out. And it might not seem that way to people nowadays, but the show was considered shocking when it came out.
Because definitely was like
because I think that show because I think that show along with Married with
thought it was garbage.
Yeah, because I think that The Simpsons, along with other shows like Married with Children and Roseanne, kind of broke apart the whole happy little family myth that sitcoms had been perpetrating for so long. And, you know, and I think that The Simpsons also indirectly had an influence on shows like Seinfeld and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia and you know, Curb Your Enthusiasm. Other shows that take like they do like a kind of a darker take on the sitcom formula.
Yeah, The Simpsons brought some sort of irony to it that maybe wasn't there before. You know, I remember when I was a kid, it's like the sitcoms were like Full House and like stuff like that. They were so established as like these sort of twee, sort of like saccharine, ultra sweet. Just Pablo that you just feed to a baby, you know, like, and so things like The Simpsons, Roseanne, Married with Children, it's like those sort of like challenge some of the assumptions of that genre, which in a very interesting way. But they also like reinforced it in other ways.
I mean, yeah, I guess you could say, you know, like because you know, like Kelly Bundy, you know, was like the super hot chick. And let's keep it real. How many teenage girls you know looked that good when you were a kid? Like, I'm not saying there were any ugly girls in my school, but I doubt that any of the girls in my school had like a makeup team that was making them look beautiful all the time with the lighting on their face. Like, no, that was the unrealistic part. Like, of course, you know, not a teenage girl is gonna have like a makeup team do her face every morning and put light on it and shoot from like, you know, angles that don't really show the acne or anything going on with her face and make her look like super beautiful. Of course, you know, that's reality.
Yeah, well, film, TV, you know, it's an illusion. It's like a fiction. I never really thought about that show that much because when I was watching it, I was like, pre-pubescent, so I don't think I was ever like, I never had a crush on Kelly Bundy or anything,
Yeah, but Kelly was hot though, like.
I mean, that's what's her name? It's Applegate, right? Christina Applegate. She's that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a beautiful woman. I don't know. I never really thought of her that way. I don't usually think about like celebrities as like, oh, they're so beautiful and hot. I don't know. There's something about them. Like they're uncanny to me or something.
I mean, yeah, like they're not the average person,
Well, that's what I like. It's like when you see somebody and they're unconventional in some sort of way, and it's like, oh, hubba hubba. Look at that real person. Whereas I sometimes you feel that for like people in TV and movies, the pop culture and stuff like that. Unless it's like weird, like small budget stuff where it's like normal people in the roles. I don't know. It's something with me. I never I'm just cynical. I don't connect with pop culture that well.
Yeah, me neither. Like I don't like I like celebrities who are down to earth. Like I don't like the ultra processed celebrities like Angelina Jolie. Like Angelina Jolie just seems too perfect to me. It's like I like somebody who has a shitty life where they had like a weird. Like I can connect with people. Like I can connect with celebrities like Joey Diaz. Who's a comedian who's had a shitty life. Like I could connect with Rodney Dangerfield because Rodney Dangerfield, he was an average looking guy. That was based on his real life too. Like he really didn't get any respect.
He's the kind of guy who earned his place, right?
Like I mean, like Rodney Dangerfield, for most of his life, his mother hated him. His father was kind of not the greatest dude. He didn't become famous until he was like an old man. He was average looking. He wasn't exactly what you would call like Rudolph, like a Warren Beatty type of looking guy.
And he was like a working class slob. That was like his character. I love his role in Natural Born Killers. That's what really like made me appreciate him as like a character.
Yeah. Oh, another celebrity who I also like was Norm Macdonald. You got the vibe that Norm Macdonald was kind of like this eccentric working class guy.
Yeah, he had a bit of that vibe. I remember he was hosting the news on SNL when I was like, I feel like when I was 12 or something like that. Probably like just as I was sitting there watching Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, he was Canadian too. Like he was from Quebec.
Is he?
Wait, or was it?
I don't know. I don't usually keep track. Except Phil Partman, because he lived in my hometown of Brantford, Ontario.
Oh yeah, I love Phil Hartman. He was funny with all the SNL and all the roles he did on The Simpsons.
Yeah, he was like Troy McClure, Lionel Hutz. Like those are like some of the best Simpsons characters that there are.
I think he was also on the episode of The Critic too, but I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, I love that show. That was hard to watch. Though. I was always moving around. It was at like weird times. I used to tape it,
Oh yeah, I love The Critic. Like, I think that show inspired like kind of my sarcastic humor.
I could see that.
Okay, I'm trying to see like how do I like stop recording and then how do I like what's the word? Link. Put the link on to other places.
Well, because you recorded it, you didn't go live. Or are we live, like streaming to Facebook right now?
Well, it does. It says live.
Yeah, that just means necessarily recording. So it's like if you connected it to your Facebook and you set up a Facebook thing, it would be on Facebook right now. If not, what you can do is you can, when you stop it, you can. It says that I'm going to upload my recording, so I get the impression that like you're going to get two files. One that's your camera and one that's mine, or whatever.
Yeah.
And you can just sync them up.
Oh, okay. Well, it was nice talking to you.
Yeah, it was nice talking to you too. This was fun.
Oh, okay.